Happy Monday, everyone. We have another great story for you today. We sit down with the National Trade Association of Travel Plazas and Truck Stop Owners to discuss what truck stops of the future will look like. Check this out.
So NATSO is a trade association based in the Virginia, Washington, D.C. area that's been around since the mid-60s. And essentially, we represent travel centers and truck stops. So I'm the vice president of membership, and my primary responsibility is retention and recruiting for NATSO. In other words, making sure we are recruiting new travel centers and travel plazas, truck stops, as well as retaining the current ones we have. I work on education knowledge with them specifically at the site level more than anything. Specifically things that will help them become more profitable, take care of their customers better, and so forth.
All right, so let's jump straight into it. We want to know how COVID-19 has changed truck stops and travel centers and, how they've adapted.
So, prior to COVID-19, travel centers and truck stops were moving into technology, some faster than others. So whether that would be, apps that they could use to order, a parking spot or get their, get a spot in the fueling area and or order food. You started to see that prior to COVID-19. What happened with COVID-19 is it's really pushed that forward significantly. So all of the things I've mentioned are kind of what I'd say now, they're not in fifth gear anymore, they're in eighth gear. I mean, they're fully moving down the road and in a very rapid form. And additional things have happened. So there's a lot of companies, truck stops that are taking the food out to the drivers while they're fueling. And there are folks working on applications that allow drivers to actually order while they're fueling. So in order to speed up that entire process. Companies that are looking at new layouts and new builds, designs of their travel centers are really focusing on the driver. You're seeing a lot more focusing on different like angled parking, for example, to help the drivers get in and out fast. But what COVID has done is just raised the bar, the expectations. I mean, the drivers always have had really high expectations, and deservedly so. You're going to have to be super clean. There's already a set expectation. You're going to have ready, available types of food and so forth. And again, you're going to have to be fast, so.
Of course. Now, tell us a little bit about how truck stops are going to look in the future, 15, 20, 30 years down the road.
So I think you're going to see a continuation in the embrace of technology. I could foresee, as an example, a truck driver fuels and it's through RFID technology, which is already out there, of course, and that he or she then goes into a travel center and it won't be just like the typical counter that we see today where people are behind the counter. There'll probably be multiple positions of checkout systems. I just think there's going to be a big focus on again, making the entire process for a driver. A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to turn a vehicle that's 70 feet in length total. Right? It's not easy, and to maneuver those vehicles through the parking lots and so forth. So again, I think that design and layout's going to be impacted even in a more positive fashion. I would also think that the things that drivers really appreciate, say things like the ability to relax. We know some folks are doing some movies for the drivers at night, literally putting just a giant screen on the back of the building and laying out some chairs, currently social distancing, bringing them popcorn or so forth. We have members, doing things for NASCAR races, for Super Bowl, for opening night of baseball. I heard some folks doing some neat things. So I think you're going to continue to see that embracing of the driver even further than in the past.
That's it for today's feature. Tune in Wednesday for another great story.